Hello and welcome to another episode of High Five on Court. My name is Tofi Daniels, and today I will be telling you 5 most embarrassing moments of my life, at least the ones I remember, right? There was this one time I was much younger, and there was this family friend of ours who loved to tease me a lot, and then he decided to ask me what my favorite food was, and I said fried rice, and then he would ask me, how is it prepared? And I was like, you put the instruments inside the blah 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 blah, and everybody was just looking at me like, yo, what did he just say? Instrument? So yeah, I didn't know the difference between instrument and ingredient. Now, being a musical child, in my mind, maybe because I think I'm autistic sometimes, I just kind of thought I just thought it was the right word to use. I mean, instruments make music sound better, right? So like instruments, I don't know. It just made total sense to me. But apparently it was very embarrassing. People laughed at me, and then anywhere I went to with Uncle Wale would always make fun of me saying that joke every now and then, and it was just... Anyways, that's one. Secondly, this one is a messy situation, right? I remember I was in junior secondary school, and my school back then was quite far from the house. It was quite far. It's quite a distance, like long distance. But for the fact that I attended a public school, some things just didn't work out. Like, most public schools are not in good shape in Nigeria, right? Just know that. Most public schools, alright. Most public schools in Nigeria are not in good shape. And that's because somehow funding doesn't get to these people to do the right things. Sometimes we just embezzle funds. But anyways, back to the matter. Most of the restrooms were so bad. I'm talking about terrible condition. Like, I wouldn't put my butt on any of their toilet seats. And this particular day, only God knows what I ate that day. I had the rumble in my stomach, and I needed to really go. I needed to go really bad. Mind you, I was the head prefect, right? So, you wouldn't see the head prefect. What's going on today? God have mercy. You wouldn't see the head. Sometimes I have the H factor, so forgive me, it's very intrusive. You wouldn't see the head prefect go into the bush to go take a dump, right? I was too classy for that, man. I was too bougie for all that. So I decided. So I decided I was going to go home to ease myself. Now, mind you, the distance from my school to the house is quite far. It's quite far. Maybe 3 kilometers. Maybe. Yeah, maybe 3 kilometers, right? So I decided I was going to go. But anyways, you know that moment when you're so pressed and you feel like it's just gonna drop any minute? That was what I was going through. But I held it. I wanted to be strong. I was fighting a tough battle. So I thought, okay, let's just go home, right? It was the break period, so I was like, yo, I don't care, I'm gonna go home. I got on the way. Absolutely no means of getting home. No transportation, no bike, no bus, because you wouldn't get a bus from there to my house directly. No bike for no reason. So I decided I was going to walk. And don't worry, it's not what you're thinking. I walked, and I had only gone a certain distance, and I thought, yo, I'm going to lose this battle. So I saw this house by the roadside. I just walked up to one woman who was sitting outside. I was like, yo, please, man, I really need to use the restroom. And she was like, yo, okay, no problem, but on one condition, you'll have to fetch water. I was like, do you have water that I can use now, and then after then I'll go fetch? She was like, okay, deal. So I went into the restroom. By the way, it was no good, but I just had to use that one. I used it, and then when I was done, I had to go fetch water to, clean up and all that. I mean, to flush and all that. And I had to walk another distance from the house to where the well was. It was a long distance. Now imagine people who knew me in that area, because I usually just ply that route anytime I'm going to school. People who knew me in that area saw me holding a bucket, fetching a bucket from a well. It was just very embarrassing, man. It was very embarrassing. I was sweating like a goat. The goat sweat. I'm not sure. But that's the second one. Yo, the next one. Try to remember this one. I'm trying to remember this one. The next one. I'm really trying to remember this one. Yo, this one is very important. Kids, I don't know if kids are watching this because this is not essentially made for kids, but be careful what your children watch, right? So this time, I had just finished watching Jet Li. I've forgotten the title, but it was a long time ago. I was a kid, probably like 11. No, way younger than that. Like, say 9, 10. Way younger than that, actually. And I just finished watching Jet Li. It was a lot of fight scenes and everything, violence everywhere. And when I was done, I felt like I could take on the world. I felt like I could save the world single-handedly, right? So there was this door in my compound. This door was very old and weak and, eaten by termites, and it was a wooden door and all that. So it was quite weak. But I felt like I needed to try some of the moves I learned from Jet Li. So I was just going everywhere. Yeah, kicking and knocking everything in my way. Went to this door, knocked it down. When that happened, for a moment, I felt like I was on top of the world. I felt like I could beat anyone in that moment. I felt like if I saw Jet Li in real life, I would be a match for him. But then, that was short-lived because immediately I turned back, my dad was just there looking at me. And he was like, inside, go stool down. That was his favorite punishment, by the way. Go stool down. I was there for hours. Whatever motivation I had, whatever high I was going through that moment, died. So be careful what your kids watch, because kids learn a lot from movies or whatever it is they watch, right? By the way, I learned one of the reasons my dad actually punished me was because I was learning martial arts then. My dad is a black belter, taekwondo. He was actually teaching us. He taught me and my sister, my middle sister, for like 2-3 years. But my mom was like, don't teach my kids taekwondo, blah, 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 blah. Something like that. Anyways, that's the second. Is that the second or the third? That's the third. The next one, most embarrassing moment. Yeah, I was in junior secondary school, another one. But this one is my messy situation, right? Yo, this one was about grammar. I was one of the most respected students in school then. And my English teacher, told us to buy some books. Now, before she told us to buy these books, I had already bought mine, right? So she saw me in school that day and she was really impressed and she was like, oh, where did you get this? Blah, blah. Knowing that I didn't get from her though, right? So I was like, my mom bought it for me. I know, right? I know. I was like, my mom bought it for me. And she was like, right. And interestingly, I kept on saying that for a couple more times. And she was like, she thought I was going to like correct myself. And she was like, yo, calm down, right? It is bought. Like you already used that in the past tense, bought. So there is nothing like boughted, right? But anyways, it was a boughted compliment. Because that's a bad joke. I wanted to say botched compliment. I don't know why I thought that was a good one. actually. Terrible. Anyways, on to the next one. This is actually embarrassing right now. I remember two, but I'm not gonna give you a bonus. I remember two. I'm just gonna say this one. This one is definitely embarrassing. The first sex talk I had with my dad. My dad was, the conversation was awkward. And even more awkward was my response, right, to the conversation. My dad just called me one evening and it was like, yo, do you feel anything when you see girls? I was like 13. Like, why would you be asking me that? I was beginning to be conscious of my own self, right? So you asking me that is just, So he was like, how do you feel do you feel anything when you see girls? And I was like, no, I don't. My dad was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. Are you sure? I was like, yeah. For like the next 10 minutes, I could see the confusion on this man's face. Like, my dad did not know how to pull through that conversation. Both of us went silent for like 15 minutes on that pavement outside the house. We were just seated there for a while. After some time, I just saw my dad. My dad just took a deep breath in and he walked inside. Right. It was later we had that conversation and things evened out over time. But that first conversation, it was very, very awkward because I was taken aback. Why would you be asking me that? But anyways, let me know if you find any of this fun. Those are the 5 most embarrassing moments of my life. Until next time, bye.